All right, no words. Shalom.
Shalom.
We're the real Hebrew Israelites, come to week in and week out, prophesying the return of the Most High and His heavenly Son. All praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles out in New York, a great millstone of GMS. Honors to all I came around the planet lifting up the name of Yahweh while Yahweh Shai and truth and sincerity. We're the brothers here at Great Millstone, Chicago, and as you see, we have a wonderful guest, from the elder from GMS, Arkansas.
Shalom.
You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Preacher Cal, GMS, Arkansas.
That's right, Kahan Yakal. That's right, Priest Kahan Yakal from GMS, Arkansas. So it's beautiful to have the brother in our presence. We had the elder Karab in the back and the young disciple Zakar in the back. So we're gonna jump right into it. As you see in the title, it says Christians do not rightfully divide the word of truth. All right, and it comes out of the scripture. You can go ahead and get the scripture.
This is 2 Timothy 2:15. It says, "Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai."
That means they throw Christians right out the water. They don't study. Matter of fact, nobody who claims to be biblical really studies except for the so-called theologians who go to some school, but then they learn and regurgitate man's commandments of men and doctrines of men, filtering it through the scriptures, and they're somebody give me Psalms 51, Psalms 50, but it says, what have you to do with my scriptures in your mouth? Talking about the wicked. 50 and 16. Yeah, because if you're talking about the so-called Christians, you talk about the Jewish, the people who talk about the Torah, you want to talk about the Catholics and whoever else who claims to be a foremost authority in the Bible, even the Muslims, because Farrakhan, half the time he quote out the scriptures.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about anybody pick up that Bible, and I'm lumping them in the Christians because that Muslim faith is just a spin-off of that. All right? They don't rightfully divide the word of the truth. And like the brother read, they don't study. All right? They don't study. They don't spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours in them scriptures, going and comparing the Bereans. Somebody give me Acts, was it 17? Acts about the Bereans. All right?
Study daily.
That's right. All right. There's some a little bit more than that.
Yeah, it's the word spoudazo.
I knew you was going to get. I was going to ask you to get spoudazo.
4704. One of the words that really stick out would mean is haste and give diligence, but another word is to make effort.
That's right.
So when they know they wrong, if you can prove them wrong, they don't even make the effort to go study. They don't give no diligence to try to even get it right, man.
That's right.
They just believe in everything Pork Chop,
Pastor
taught them. Yeah. That's all they go off for.
He just called him Poke. He didn't say Pastor Poke Chop.
Just
Poke Chop.
They go off their own vain opinion, what they think
is
what the scripture should be, man.
That's right.
Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. And approved means to be accepted, man. That's the only way you're gonna be accepted. You got to give this effort, give a diligent effort.
That's right.
In His Word,
Because you're not gonna get it on the first time every time.
No.
Certain things you're gonna get it. The Lord made the sun and the moon. You're like, what? The Lord made the sun and the moon. You got that breakdown. That was simple. But then you skipped over for seasons, for days and time and year. You ask somebody, say, so how do you keep track of time according to the Bible? I don't know. You just read it. It said the moon for seasons, for days, and for years. What's days, years, and seasons? Time. But then if you go into an exploration of the scriptures and you in Sirach, it says the moon is meant for the declaration of the times. And you go into other scriptures, the sun knoweth his going down, and at the appointed time, and all these others lift up the trumpet in the feast day. Then you will know how to rightfully keep the track of time and how it is according to the scriptures. But people don't read the Bible. As a matter of fact, they'll read a chapter or two and say they read the whole Bible after reading a chapter or two.
They ain't gonna read no chapter because they're gonna read 2 verses and fall asleep.
That's right.
Already.
That's right.
Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High Yahweh.
So the only way the Most High is gonna even say you're approved in His eyes if you've been diligently, really searching Him in them scriptures. All right.
A workman that needeth
A
not.
what?
A workman.
A what?
A workman.
A man of work.
Come.
If you break workman down, that's a man who works all the time. He's not a man. He's a workman because he's always working.
Come.
That means you're always dealing. All right. If you go into Yahweh Shai, he had the daily. He taught daily. You talk to Paul, he taught daily. Talk to the apostles, they taught daily. You can go to Jeremiah, and you're going to find that he taught daily.
Come.
Look at the word daily and do some studying and see who taught daily, and they'll tell you who did. And those are righteous, real men of the Lord.
Come. A workman that needeth not to be ashamed.
So what you got to be ashamed for if you're always constantly doing the work of the Lord? You say, well, Lord, I know I'm a piece of shit, and I know I'm a wretch because the scriptures say I'm a wretch. We all fall short of the glory of God. Our righteousness is a filthy rags. But guess what? That's all I know. That's all I'm doing. All I got is hope in you, and then that's it. I don't have to be ashamed. If the Lord gonna take me out, he's gonna take me out because I was just not part of the number. And that scares me, but then that's on the Lord. But guess what? I'm doing all that I can do. So I don't feel ashamed. I have no reason to feel ashamed because I'm doing it. Now, if I stop doing it, then I got every reason to be ashamed. And that's where you get there, Nazarias. Where the fuck you been? All right. Taziadia, where you been? Oh, smoking with Chief Keef and Lil Herb and all whoever else you be kicking it with. All right. Claiming to be men of the Lord, but then out there feeding the sheep. What did Yahweh Shai tell Peter? 3 times.
Feed my sheep.
To the point Peter got vexed. Like, Lord, that's what I will do it. Lord, I'm going to feed them. That's what I've been doing, Lord. But the Lord said when you converted, which means wasn't Peter already converted at that time? He was talking about a future time. He wanted to put it in the spirit, in his spirit for this time we're in right now. Okay.
None of y'all doing work. And concerning them, when it get nice and warm, they won't go out there. And most I told you, be in season, out season.
That's right, brother. That's right.
Okay. It says a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
A workman, a man who's always working, no need to be ashamed. Why? Because they're doing what? Always what, brother?
Rightly dividing the word of truth.
Rightly dividing the word of truth. Rightfully. Now, go into the etymology of that. That's orthotomeo to my knowledge. And that's going to break it down to the itty bitty.
Strong's says to make a straight cut, that figuratively to dissect.
Who? A straight cut to dissect. When you dissect the frog, back in remember in the science class, they took them dead ass frogs and had us doing abominable shit with these bastards, right? Now, what did? You had to cut it down. You had to pull out this. You had to pull out that. You had to identify this. You had to identify that. We went the whole route from the rooter to the tutor. All right. When you rightfully dissect the scriptures, you go from what? The rooter to the tutor. All right. Not letting anything go to let no one escape thee. When you the deep parables, let none escape you. You want to have an understanding of everything. Go ahead.
It says correctly.
Directly, what's what?
Correctly. Dissect, expound correctly.
That's right.
A divine message, rightly divide. Then the third definition, which is like the blue letter, number 2 says to make it.
Okay, it came back. All right. Slacking for that. But it's to teach the truth directly, not sugarcoating shit, not glossing over shit, but direct to the face. Isaiah 58. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions. All right. He said, woe is him that keepeth back his sword from blood. You got to come teach this right, directly and correctly. All right. Meaning you got to know what the hell you're talking about. You got to know the words. You got to know the Hebrew. You got to know the Greek. You got to know the precepts. You got to bring it together. You got to put it all together. If you don't do that, you're not teaching correctly. All right, now it was a little bit I said in that, right?
Fine.
All right, what I know y'all holding 2 scriptures.
Yeah.
Go ahead and hit them. Loud, bro.
In Psalm chapter 50, verse 16, but unto the wicked, the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?
Lord said, wait a minute. To the wicked. Now, who's the head of the wicked? All right, that's spiritual Satan in the spiritual realm, but no. That he's not down here. He plays with people down here, but who's the head of the wicked down here? that's called so-called white
Like
man,
Esau.
the red Hebrew Edomite, disguising himself as a white Caucasian, a white Jewish Amalekite, all right? And he's lying. He's full of nothing but lies. And he's John 8:44 says, "You are of your father the devil, for he was a murderer from the beginning, and he's a liar." Who was the liar from the beginning? Cain. Who was the murderer from the beginning? Cain. All right? And the Most High put a mark on him. That mark was leprosy, which is a reddish to whitish skin, which is in the book of Leviticus 13.
Yep.
All right? And it shows you that blonde hair and that reddish to whitish skin is leprous. And he's the one who got it. All right? And that was that mark that said, don't trust and listen to not a damn thing this fool say. All right? And he's the head of the wicked. But guess what? Now you got him teaching all the nations, and all the nations, including the 2/3 of our people, drinking out of his cup. And they're surely drinking out of that cup. All right? And that's the reason why the 2/3 of our own people, our so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians, the biblical Israelites by blood, are listening to all manner of madness and accepted all manner of madness, and they're part of the wicked too now. All right? Along with the heathens and along with Esau, their master. All right? So read that again.
It said, Psalm chapter 50, verse 16. But unto the wicked, the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?
If you a so-called Christian and you don't know that Yahweh is Yahweh, not Jehovah, when J and V is not part of the original Hebrew dialect, then you haven't did your studies to find that out. That's on you. And I don't want to hear them excuses that I've heard from these wicked Pope Chop preachers.
Pope Chop.
Pastor Pope Chop, all right, Deacon Bacon, all right. They'll be like, well, we're living in America, and that language we speak now is English. That's and now you know how I cut that with one. I said, well, adios. And guess what? I asked them, what does adios mean? Goodbye. How do you know what that means? Do you speak Spanish? No. But do you know what adios means? Well, yes. Well then, why can't you learn just enough of the Lord? Especially when it comes down to Proverbs 30:4. What's my name and my son's name, if thou canst tell? All right. If you go into the scriptures, Zephaniah 3:9, it says the Most High is going to return to us a pure language. So then, hey, that's right, Tower Strength. We started off with that one, and that's it. You didn't have to retract that. You could have left that up, Tower. Yeah, you leave that scripture up on the comment board. That's the operative scripture of the lesson. It need to be up there so whoever come check it out, the live show later can come and see it too. Post that back up. All right, go ahead. Well, that was go ahead. There's a little bit more than that.
Verse 17, it says, seeing thou hatest instruction and casted my words behind thee.
So the scriptures say, don't eat pork. Pastor Pope Chap say, oh, that's the old law. You can eat pork. He just cast the word of the Lord behind him. When the Most High says in Malachi 3:6, I am the Most High, I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed. I don't change. So he don't change, man. Yahweh Shai said it, I'm the same yesterday, today, and forever. All right? So that and he said his law is an everlasting law, and he's going to write the laws into our minds. Why he gonna write the laws in our minds if the law don't matter no more?
Right, that don't make sense, man. That don't make sense at all. Don't make sense at all, man. If the law was done away with, why write it in your inward parts?
That's right.
How we gonna govern the earth in righteousness if we don't have the laws?
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. And that's the reason why those Christians are out of order. They're out of order. A zeal, but not according to knowledge. All right.
That's what the Most High is gonna end up doing to you wicked ass people that won't do what you want to do. He's gonna destroy y'all, man.
That's
Get
right.
every last one.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. More than that.
That's good. You go ahead and hit yours.
This Acts 17:10.
You got something? Okay, Kevin.
Acts 17:10. It says, and the brethren immediately sent away Paul and Silas by night unto Berea, who coming thither went into the synagogue of the Jews. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they receive the word with all readiness of mind and search the scriptures daily whether those things were so.
That's right.
So yeah, like you said, search the scripture. They studied, man.
That's right.
All right, they study and see, to make sure scripture, break down stuff was correct, man.
That's right.
All right.
That's just and I love that because it says they received the word readily.
Yeah.
I mean, they were listening to Paul, and they was listening to the elders, and it was like taking notes and putting it in the inward parts, and it was like, man, that's beautiful. Yup, that's true. Yup. Then went home and said, let me go over this to make sure. Let me go search the scrolls myself. I got the scroll of Isaiah. Let me go search the scroll of Isaiah. I got this. As a matter of fact, I got all the scrolls. Why? Because the top real men of the Lord, they got all the scrolls. Because you got to remember, the Bible was not in just one big gold scroll back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Got Eve up there driving the po-po big ass truck like she was doing something. Anyway, but the scrolls were in individual. The books of the Bible were individual scrolls. So when the prophet went to go do some studying, they actually had to go to the scroll. They had probably a system. You know what I'm saying? Okay, had Genesis, the book of Barashayath, Genesis. All right, they had Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. They had all the different scrolls in the individual scroll. And then when they went to go search it, they had to actually sit there and roll it out and unfold it, and they had to literally search. It was nothing like what we got today.
Yeah, codified.
It's codified today. Verse 1, chapter 2, 49.
Precepts.
You know what I'm saying? And they got precepts already pre-written in the Bible.
Most High made it more easier.
That's right. That's right. And then he gave us a Urim and Thummim, and then even made it even more easier.
Yep.
So now he's like, okay, Google, what's the scripture that says something about such and such and such? And it'll be like, Romans chapter 9, verse 5. You're like, God, there you go. And we've spoiled now. But back in the day, we had to really search. Man, if we were living in ancient worlds today and had to get into this truth, there would be probably hardly anybody in the truth, man. Niggas, you think niggas be saving up to collect for the book of Isaiah, the book of Jeremiah, just to get it themselves in the scroll form, learn the ancient Hebrew, got to go take it. It would have been way more tedious, man.
Yeah. You know what proves that? What you just said? Noah.
That's right.
It was like,
Yeah.
He's basically the only one in the truth.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And everybody was looking at him like, you lost your damn mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the only one that most I say was Noah and his family, man.
Yeah.
But he was prophesying to them for like 100 years, man. Over 100 years. But this is why we people think that we're just trying to be mean and we're rough and we just get mad and angry, Well, first of all, the Most High is angry, and he's angry at the wicked every day. And he tells us, King David said it, do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee. Anybody that's contrary to the gospel and the doctrine, we're coming in the spirit of fire. He said, you would be fire and the people would. All right? So we're just doing it the way the Lord say do it. And we're mad because people are not listening and hearkening to the words of the prophets saying, read, study, study to show yourself approved. All right? You got something else?
This is Acts 20:27. For I have not shunned
Yes,
to
sir.
declare unto you
Love it.
all the counsel of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Some of the cast? Some of it?
All.
Okay, my bad. Majority of
All.
it.
Right?
So in order to be a true teacher, you have to do what? Give all.
Mm-hmm.
Someone give me unction to know all things. And then whoever, you getting that, crowd?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, then Zakar, you give me in Baruch, the second chapter? Give me Baruch, the second chapter, the last like 3 or 4 verses. I think it's that one. I know it when I'm in my scroll. And then I know it, because I don't care about the codification of the Bible. Years ago, I had every scripture kind of known in my spirit, and I always bring them all out. And then when I was on my own, I was doing so much on my own that my ministry kind of changed, because when you're by yourself and you're doing everything yourself, you kind of just put things together, and I just put all things off of memory of what I know in the scriptures. So the words are in my inward parts, not necessarily chapter, number, and whatever. And that's one of the only humbling mechanisms for me, because I'm an actor and a writer and had a brilliant memory, and it's not all about just quoting scriptures and knowing exactly where it's at. It's not about that. It's understanding the words that's in there. not just not knowing where it is. You can know where all the scriptures are, and it's just like the little 2-year-old baby who can recite the whole Bible. That's a beautiful thing. But can it break it all down to you? That's another thing. It's another story. You know.
I got that unction.
Go ahead, brother.
It's 1 John 2 and 20. It says, but ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things.
Some things.
All things.
So when it comes down, now doesn't mean you know everything about the weight of the sun, the weight of fire. No, how if you go read the scriptures, the Lord will tell you you don't know the weight of fire. He said, gather the wind in your fist. Can you gather wind in your fist and just have it hold there and sit there? No. So if you don't have that, it's not knowing all things at that point. We will, all right, and that's the wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter. We will have the unction to understand the elements and all that other things. But right now, it's talking about the breakdowns of them scriptures.
Right. And
All
you
right.
know how we know all we we a whole body, man.
That's right.
We're a body, man. You know,
That's right.
Most I get certain things to each individual brother, man.
That's right. He said we know in part and we prophesy in part, and together you get the whole.
Yep.
Right. And there are some brothers who can give you the whole by themselves.
Yep.
Why? Because they've been built up through the Spirit, and they on a level through the Spirit to where they can do that. Now, if the Lord didn't give you that unction and that gift, then I don't give a damn. You're not going to do it.
Right.
All right.
I'll tell you, Sirach, be not ignorant of anything.
A small
or
matter.
great.
Yeah. That's right. We do it. We make a diligent search. We make a diligent search. All right. Was this the morning?
I got the one I had. It was good.
That's it. You had
yeah.
some.
I'll never read
Okay. No.
that first.
Oh yeah, another one. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Did you get the other one yet?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead.
This is verse 21. I have not written unto you because ye know not the truth, but because ye know it, and there is no lie, and that no lie is of the truth.
That's right. Because that's contradictory. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's no dryness in water. Why? Because water is wet. You know what I'm saying? Well, you can't have a lie inside the truth because the truth has no lies. All right? So you have to be able to teach this truth, the true gospel, by knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the true gospel. We have to have the full breakdown, the full download.
Exactly.
All right? So hit yours, Zakari, and we're going to wrap up on that one. Now, right aside.
Baruch chapter 3. You said the last
I said, well, try to. You have your apocrypha? Let me see. And I said, what you in, or you in your phone?
My phone.
Okay, go look at the last 3 verses. See what it say.
Baruch chapter 2, right?
Yeah.
This Baruch chapter 2 and verse 33. It say in return. So like it say in return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which stand before Yahweh, and I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers,
Yeah.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished.
No, I want 3.
Come.
I want you to start with 3. 3 and 35.
Come.
Matter of fact, start with 34.
Come. This Baruch chapter 3 and verse 34. The stars shine in their watches and rejoice. When he calleth them, they say, Here we be. And so with cheerfulness they show light unto him that made them. This is our power, and there shall none other be accounted of the comparison of him. He hath found out all the way of knowledge.
Some of the ways of knowledge?
All the way of knowledge.
Majority of the way of knowledge?
All the way of knowledge.
Okay, wait a minute. The Most High Power has found out all the way of knowledge. Let's see what he's about to say that he did with this knowledge. Go ahead. All the ways of knowledge. Go ahead.
And had given it unto Jacob his servant.
Ooh. He's giving it to who?
Unto Jacob his servant.
The Chinese.
Unto Jacob his servant.
The Japanese Baptist Church.
Unto Jacob his servant.
Okay, the so-called white man.
Unto Jacob his servant. And to Israel his beloved.
Right, man. So yeah, Lord ain't giving no heathen, man. Both sides face it hidden from the heathen, man.
That's right.
All right. So he ain't giving them no understanding. Matter of fact, you said Esau's a reject. Most I rejected this damn devil, man.
That's right.
All right. He ain't gonna get this truth, man.
That's
All
right.
you gonna get is him going in slavery after the Lord bring his red ass down.
Okay.
Verse 37, it said, afterward did he show himself upon earth and converse with men.
Wow.
Mm.
So then so the Lord gave Jacob all the ways of knowledge, all the way of the truth. And then he dealt. Okay. So somebody got the whole download right now. And who's got the whole download, teaching the whole download, going to the etymology of words, going to the history, all right, going into the artifacts, going into the prophecies, going into the breakdowns, week in and week out, directly and correctly. The real men of the Lord of Great Millstone. Period.
That's it.
All right. So I would park here because it's a free park right here, but I'm spoiled. I'm gonna try one more time at the one closer to camp, so we don't have to walk all the way over there. So I'm gonna try. If the Lord bless, I'll get a spot over there, and if not, I'll come back over there. Yeah, right as I. So any other scriptures? You got something? Anybody? So that's it. Either you do it the way the Lord say. Matter of fact, we end on one more. Give me John the 10th chapter, where he says that there's if you don't come the way that he say, come.
John 10.
Yeah, that you have to you climb up some other way.
This is John 10:1. It says, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that enter not in by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber.
If you don't teach it the way the Lord say do it, if you don't come out here and come on the highways and the byways the way the Most High say do it, if you don't do the work of the Lord directly and correctly, and all the things that we've been bringing out, all the scriptures that we've been bringing out, if you don't do that, then the Most High, the Most High is going to kill you. The Most High is going to destroy you, and it's going to be a sore destruction. All right, because you're not doing it. You're coming up some other way. You're doing it in a way that's not cast up. And didn't I say the Most High is going to bless me with a space? Didn't I say?
I don't.
See that? That's why the Lord told me. And I was like, well, I don't feel like walking all the way over there. That's how crazy, how much he do it all the time. That's why I said we spoiled. But the Lord does actually spoil his righteous men. He actually, I can truly say that we are spoiled, righteously spoiled. And then that sounds like a title too. We are righteously spoiled in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Because the more you do the work of the Lord, the more he opens up the doors of mercy and grace for you. He has to. Otherwise, he become a liar. Man. Unless somebody else did. So, that we're here in our destination. We're about to go to camp and surprise the brothers. They didn't know the brother you called was coming. The Mashapot, he got me good. He came to my doorsteps with his brother. Yeah, and and he came. I think he came in, and Ash came in, and I was wooed off his brother Ash, and I thought that was a surprise. And then he came up with the banger behind. I was like, oh Lord bless, hallelujah, but we're gonna enjoy the fellowship, and so hopefully this was edifying through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. All praises and honor and glory to
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Ruchakodash.
Double honors to the apostles out in New York, Great Millstone of GMS. Honors to all Akim around the planet, lifting up the name of Yahweh Yahweh Shai and truth and sincerity.